and I am a video producer and author. Check it out. I wrote a book. It's called The Compromise. It's a dark underworld crime thriller, no less. Anyway, if you're interested, it's available from Amazon or directly from me at my website, loretzvisuals.co.uk. You can find the author page and grab a copy there. Here's the back cover. So front cover, anyone still? So we've got a male hand here with a field dressing on it with blood on it. Danger, danger. And a kid's hand. So where is this man leading this child to? Out of danger? Well, you'll have to find out. Here's our protagonist. His name is Blair. And if you like, I'll read the blurb for you on the back. So the book is called The Compromise, by the way. Blair, an ex-soldier turned gangster, has never doubted himself, but after a gun deal that he's the point man on between the Dutch mob and a gang of Swedish bikers explodes into violence, his mind is crystal clear. He's getting out of the game. As for the bikers, they're out for blood. Things get personal when a murder plot and a shocking revelation force Blair to compromise his plans, forge an alliance with an unlikely partner, the smart lad H. And with the clock ticking and innocent lives hanging in the balance, Blair and H must leave immediately to stop an act of pure evil. The Compromise careens between Stockholm, Liverpool and Amsterdam and is a dark thriller of double-cross, redemption and revenge. So yes, that is the book. So this has been out about a year on Amazon, and recently, at the end of last year, the audiobook came out. The audiobook is recorded by and narrated by Gerard Fletcher, who's a fantastic actor and voiceover actor. You will have heard him if you're in the UK as the voice in B&Q Co-op. He's on Screwfix. He's a lot of places. He was in The Crown. He was in. He's been on loads of TV shows. Happy Valley. He's done lots of stuff over the years. He's got a wonderful accent. He's from Sheffield. He's jokingly known as the poor man's Sean Bean, having done voiceover work for O2 in the UK. So The Compromise. It's a story set in the mid-90s, and it is based on a bit of a true story. I went up to Liverpool. I was a student in the 90s to go and see my pen pal, and she said, we'll go out for a wild night out sort of thing with her and her mate. And we ended up in this Vauxhall Cavalier, 7 of us stuffed into a car, driving around Liverpool, going to Manchester, down to Chester. We were boxed in. These guys were bad dudes talking crazy stories, and I just felt, this is when I was in my 20s, when I was a younger lad, and it was pretty terrifying, to be honest. And we ended up spending the whole night out with them. I couldn't quite piece together what they were doing, but it dawned on me, you know, in the time since, that they were basically stopping and picking up drug money. We went on this kind of ride along. It was insane, dangerous and terrifying. And I thought, what an interesting start to a story. Especially imagine what would have happened if the girl I'd gone to see disappears with one of them and I'm left with another one of these guys from the gang. So that was our kind of the ignition point for the story. There's also a lot of stuff in here about things that were happening in the 90s, but also stuff that resonates today, that's evergreen. So there was a war in the 90s between Swedish bikers called the Nordic Biker War. You can look it up on Wikipedia, where they were stealing military-grade weapons and blowing up each other's clubhouses. So that makes it into the book. There was also the whole living in plain sight. People like Jimmy Savile, but today similar to P. Diddy or Epstein, people who purport to be nice-ish, nice people, often people that do things for kids. P. Diddy, Jimmy Savile, well known for doing things for children, but actually being pedos. So in there, bit of that. So look out. So this is a book for grown-ups. The Compromise is a dark underworld crime thriller. That's why I wrote it on the front cover. I felt it needed a little bit more to underline it in that regard. It's a book which I think would make a fantastic film. And saying that, I initially wrote The Compromise as a screenplay. That's where I'm at. I'm a filmmaker full-time, mostly doing corporate work, but very interested in narrative work and writing stories and screenplays. So I wrote the screenplay for this back in 1998. It was read. I got my mum's best friend basically ruined it for me at the time. Now, hold on, don't leave me. She ruined it at the time. She said I wasn't ready, that I didn't know about the world, about life. I was 25 and I just thought, how dare you? I've been to university. I know how to write a screenplay, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, I got into being a filmmaker and came back during COVID to resurrect the old script. And it dawned on me at that point, 20 years later, having been married and kids, that, you know what, she was right. And that sometimes a good idea is a good idea, but not at that moment. It takes the right oxygen and the right time for it to flourish, to grow, to mature. And saying all of that, that's what we did with this. From 2019 to 2024, the script then took at least 7 or 8 different drafts until I felt the story was really ready. And then when it was ready, I thought, you know what? I'm going to write it again as a novel and put it out there, because a 5 or 8 million, 5, 6, 7 million pound indie movie is still difficult to get off the ground. So that is why I rewrote it as a book, because I wanted to get the story out there, get it read, get the wheels in motion. So if you're interested in crime fiction, especially if you like Elmore Leonard, one of the world's greatest crime fiction writers, he's no longer with us. He would have been 100 years old this year. I can tell you now that this will meet your needs for another Elmore Leonard book, because there ain't any more. He's written his lot. I've read about 30 or 35 of his novels. I absolutely love his writing. So it gets straight to the point fast. It's not flowery. It's nothing but good dialogue and great stories and crime, suspense, capers, of which this is one, and I'm very proud to have written it. I should have started writing or carried on. Well, I stopped writing when I was at school, but I wrote a couple of things, but nothing very long. Whilst I was married, too busy, was making loads of videos, corporate stuff and what have you, on 10 years ago maybe. Anyway, here it is. Like I say, you can grab a copy of The Compromise on Amazon. It's there on Kindle. It's like £2 for a Kindle, so almost nothing. Grab yourself a copy, have a read. Paperback, hardback, and audiobook. If you want to be a total devil, you can grab a copy on TikTok Shop, where it is £1 cheaper. And if you DM me, I can sign a copy and get it over to you. I'm going to run up to about 10 minutes and then I'm going to knock this one on the head. But suffice to say, I'm really proud of writing this book because I think a lot of people have ideas for books and they just never get to the end. I always knew that this was a full story. I knew how to articulate what I wanted to say, and I'm really grateful for everyone that's helped me, Dr. Alex Ross in particular, for his guidance in writing the screenplay and finessing and pushing and moulding the story, making it what it is. So that's it for this one. Grab yourself a copy of The Compromise by me, Adam Loretz. And if you need any video production, then hit me up over at loretzvisuals.co.uk. I'm available for any video production services that you may need if you are in the UK. If you're further afield and you want to fly me to wherever you are, I am perfectly happy to do that. I have had commissions everywhere in the world and no stranger to a plane. So until next time, I'm Adam Loretz, saying that if you want to know more about The Compromise, you can check me out at loretzvisuals.co.uk or find me at Abject Boy on every social platform, where you'll also see I've got some AI trailers for this book. They would be fully filmed trailers for the book, but that's rather expensive. AI is great for things like this, where you have a real idea, a real source material, and you're just looking to put together some kind of marketing bits, content, and what have you. So do check it out there. There's lots more to find out there. There's obviously samples of The Compromise on Amazon. If you are a book reviewer, a book talker, you're a social media person, if you want a copy of this book, I can get one over to you. This will live or die with the reviews, so please do grab a copy and review it, and make sure that you give the @ symbol at Abject Boy on any social platform so that I get notified of your review, because I'm always keen to read those reviews. The Compromise is a story about a gangster trying to get out, desperate to escape the underworld life, desperate to start a new life in California. It's in the mid-90s. The UFC is just warming up, and he sees that as his place to be a full-on alpha male. However, it's not as easy as that. There's a young couple of pen pals out on a big night out who get embroiled with Blair and his cohorts and get sucked into this underworld drama of chaos, mayhem, and violence. Ta-da! Check it out. Okay, I'm Adam Loretz, and you can check out more of my stuff at loretzvisuals.co.uk. If you want to hop over to my YouTube channel, it is at The Filmmakers Workshop, all one word. I'm on there too, where I review cameras and do all kind of like filmmaking stuff, screenwriting, etc. This is my personal channel, which I started years ago when YouTube very first began. So there's a whole bunch of stuff on there. But it's a place where I think as an author, I felt I should come to say about what I'm actually doing. Me, just me, no other worky stuff, just what I'm actually doing. So what I'm doing is this, The Compromise. I'm dead set on taking this. It was a screenplay. I wrote it. I turned it into a book. Now let's go a step beyond, okay? Metamorphosize one more time from book back into screenplay, and let's get this made into a movie, because the themes in this of masculinity, of living in plain sight, and I think a love of the 90s, that's what we need to capture and put on screen and share, because I think those are evergreen themes and things that people will want to watch and turn this book into a legend. Right. I love you and leave you. Until the next time, I'm Adam Loretz. Make sure you grab a copy of The Compromise on Amazon or on TikTok Shop, or download the audiobook from anywhere you get your audiobooks. All right. Hasta la vista.